You are listening to Realign Your Life podcast, where I discuss with you strategies on how to realign your life and move towards the direction you always want to. I am Vivian, the host of this podcast, and every week I will bring value on how to improve and realign your life either through a guest or my thoughts. I can't wait to share what we have this week. It's time to realign your life. Well, welcome back again to Realign Your Life podcast. I am so excited for you to be here with us today. I am Vivian, the host of this show, and I have a special treat for you today. We have a guest on board with us, and our guest is going to share with you her journey on realigning her life. Now, as we've said many times, realignment is a process and it doesn't happen overnight. But our guest today is Gabriel. And Kim has gone through the Realign Your Life workshop, which was formerly known as Blueprint for Success. And that gave her a huge start in getting on the road and beginning the journey of realigning her life. So hold on, people. We are going to hear from a guest, and I pray that this is going to excite you to get started on your path also of realigning your life. So Kim is a longtime friend of mine, and she hails right here from Charlotte, North Carolina, a native Charlottean. Now, you don't find those often because it's the place to be now, people in Charlotte. So Kim is a mom, she's a wife, she is an entrepreneur. She's retired from a couple of places, from the U.S. Postal Service and also from the school system here in Charlotte, Mecklenburg. So Kim, welcome.
Thank you, Vivian. I'm so glad to be here. I'm very excited to be joining you today.
Great. Well, Kim, can you share a little bit more about yourself with our audience here today?
Well, in addition to being a mom and a wife, I'm also a grandmother and a great-grandmother.
Wow. That's always a good one, right? Especially that grandma part.
Yes, that's the fun part.
Yes.
And I always send the children back home. But yes, I'm also a choir member. I love to sing. And so that gives me a lot of great joy. So, yes.
And Kim, hey, I understand you're also a writer.
Yes, I have several books in the works. And one of the things I want to do this year is finish one of them.
Wow. Well, I know that you are well on your way and on your path. So I just want to ask you a couple of questions here, Kim, because I know these are things that our listening audience is excited about and want to know all about you. So what was it that really got you started and motivated you to begin the journey of realigning your life? Share, talk to us about that.
Well, not long after the death of our grandson, the Lord just spoke to me about opening a soup kitchen. Mm-hmm. I love to cook, so that's right in my wheelhouse, so to speak. And so even though I was unsure at first about what I was going to do to further that, I just kind of kept it to myself and meditated on it and just continued to pray about it all alone to make sure that was what God really wanted me to do. You just can't just jump out and start doing things without making sure that that's the right path you should be on. But since I know that God already knows me, and that's one of the talents or gifts that he's given me. And that's one thing I have learned over the last couple of years, is that God gives us these things, these gifts, these talents, and he expects us to use them for his glory. And so that started that process. And now I'm just rolling along, I'm just as thrilled as I can be to be where I know I should be.
So you made this decision that you knew that you had heard from God and that you were to move forward with this opening up a soup kitchen. And I understand now is in the nonprofit status, right?
It is.
So what moved you, or how did you get to that place, of that point of really moving forward with this?
Well, as it happens, my husband and I received an invitation from the church he grew up in. Previously, in the year of 2020, when the pandemic was going on at its height, his father came to stay with us as he was in ill health. And so after he passed away, the following year, we were in 2021, we were asked to come and fellowship at his church where he has served his whole life. And they wanted to honor him because during the pandemic, no services were able to be held. So the message from the pastor that day was titled Intentional Usefulness.
Wow.
And so after having spent a few months meditating with the Lord about this, I just felt and knew that that was him speaking through the pastor that day and his message. And my husband felt the same. And so we just, from that point or from that day, it's been all about aligning ourselves with what God wants us as a couple and individually as well to do.
So how did that alignment begin for you? Talk to us about that. What were some of the steps that you took in order to get to where you are going now?
Well, the first thing I did was take Blueprints for Success, or as it is now, Realign Your Life. We had you put on an introductory class, and I just knew in my spirit that that was something that I needed to do to help me to move forward in what God has called me to do. And
so what did the class do for you? I mean, how did that motivate you? And share that with our people here, because I know they're like, So one little class, one little workshop did all of that and got you to this point. So what happened in that workshop, or what was it that motivated you?
Well, one of the first things is that in this class, it calls you to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, who are you going to be honest with? So to take a real close look at what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, the things that have held me back before, and to write all of that down and to put it in perspective, because it all means something. We don't like to talk about our weaknesses, but they are real, and we need to face them so we can learn how to navigate around them or through them or whatever steps we need to take to overcome our weaknesses.
Wow. So this leads me to ask you this question. Have you had to navigate any difficult decisions, or have you had to make any sacrifices during this alignment period?
I would say that most people probably deal with fear of failure and procrastination. Those are my two biggies. And since taking this class and just learning how to navigate, I've overcome that one, at least fear of failure. It doesn't matter. I can't let that stop me from doing what I've been called to do. I'm going to have hiccups. I'm going to have stumbling blocks, but that doesn't matter. You just keep moving forward one step at a time. And so those things don't hinder me anymore. Another thing I did was create a weekly calendar.
Wow.
And that helps me. I put down everything that's going on in my life. And even if I don't get to the things that I put on my calendar to achieve during the week, I put forth the effort, and it keeps me focused on what I need to do next. And so those two have helped me tremendously.
Wow, that's amazing, Kim, because you're talking about focus and setting priorities.
Right.
And the way that you're doing that is making a list. And I know that for many of us, just as you mentioned, fear is the thing that holds us back. Even the fear of success sometimes is something that will keep us from moving forward. But think of all of the successful people, or I would say discoveries that have been made because of failure.
Right.
But like you say, you keep moving ahead. So tell me this, being so centered now and being so focused and putting those things that are priority for you out in front, how has this affected your relationships? Do you find that you've had to set some boundaries in some places, or what has that done for you, both professionally and personally?
Professionally, I've developed some new relationships.
Wow, great.
And
talk about that.
Well, I have, I got reacquainted with a relative who has expertise in one of the areas that we're going to be working in our nonprofit. And had we not met again, we would not have this connection now that brings us a distant part of our family together. So that's been great. And so, and personally, all my children are grown. But my husband and I are closer. We work closely together. And this has just been a really fantastic opportunity for us, because he's also working and walking in his purpose as well. So it's just been great.
That is just absolutely wonderful. So it sounds like the Realign Your Life workshop has just made a huge difference and impact in your life. So, and that leads me to ask you, what advice would you give to someone or anyone out here in our listening or audience that is looking to realign their life? What advice would you give them?
The first thing I would say is be honest with yourself. Look at what you're doing and where you are in life. And if you're fulfilled in that area or with whatever you're doing. And if you're not, then you need to take a step back and really focus on or look at what gifts and talents you have, the things that you really, really like to do, and start there and make an investment in yourself.
Wow. I love that, because so many times we are penny wise and pound foolish, that we don't want to spend the time, the money, or the energy in realigning ourselves. And what we end up doing is pouring from an empty cup.
Right.
So I just appreciate all of this, because I know that there are people out there that are listening to this podcast today that are going to be able to really profit from this. So looking back, is there anything that you would have done differently or in this realignment process?
In the realignment process itself, no, I have no regrets about that. The only real regret is not doing it sooner.
Well, you know what? This friend of mine reminded me the other day, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So
all right,
you did it at the right time, just when he was ready for you. So Kim, you talked about how this Realign Your Life workshop, Blueprint for Success, actually helped you to really move forward in getting your nonprofit up and running. So talk to us a little bit more about your nonprofit and about your grandson, because you're doing this all in his honor. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So talk to us about the nonprofit. I love that name too, the Vine and Branches Outreach.
Well, the Vine and Branches Outreach came about, as you know, our son, we lost our grandson in a shooting. So we are very anti-gun violence oriented. You know, I'm not really an activist, but yes, and on the other hand, I am. So one of the things through Khalil's Corner is the Youth and Adult Center. And it is designed to tutor and mentor our students. Most of our students in our community are falling behind very early in their education process. And you can just hear the different things going on in our own school system that are not meeting the challenges that they're facing. So we want to fill as many of those gaps as we possibly can. And we want to start in kindergarten through the 12th grade, because basic reading, math, and science skills are missing, especially reading and math. Our students fall behind in those very quickly. I grew up old school, so I was taught to read and write and count before I went to school, and I did the same with my children. But a lot of our children, we have missed, I think, probably 2 generations of not having that preschool, if you will, access. A lot of our parents are very young themselves, and they didn't get it. So our goal is to help with that, and also vocational training. We want them to be college ready if they want that. So we want to help them prepare in middle and high school for that. get ready for SAT and the what is it? The CAT, I believe it is, for athletes. So that they have a fighting chance to get into school and to learn how to apply for college or whatever they want to do, to tap into those gifts and talents that they have that they haven't even tried to access before. So we want to that. I'm very excited about that as far as Khalil's Corner is concerned. That those things really have me excited. And so, and then Kay's Kitchen is, of course, my baby, because I love cooking for people and I love to nourish. I'm a nurturer by nature as well, and those two areas, I'm just full, and so I have. I'm excited about the whole thing, and so I'm ready to get up in the mornings and do whatever I need to do to help us propel us forward. So, yes, ma'am.
Well, you just sound so energized and so excited about this whole new area of your life. I can just feel it and I see it when I'm with you. And I tell you, you're talking about Kay's Kitchen and your affinity for food. On our recent retreat here, you just took some simple snacks and just made that table look so inviting. So we know that is a natural gifting for you. Mm-hmm. And I understand through Kay's Kitchen that you will be doing an outreach to our homeless population. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. We started last year. We just did kind of a reconnaissance around the area that we live in. And we found that many people, we see them all over the city, carrying signs and whatnot. They will work for food and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And we just found encampments where people were living in the woods and that kind of thing. And we told them that we would come back with food, and we did. And so we learned some of their names and where they hang out and where they lived. Some of the places have been removed, but we just recently found out where they moved to. Mm. And so we started that way. We started small because we could handle that on our own. But what we really want to aspire and what we're aspiring to do, our intentions are to have a building that can house both of these entities so that we can take care of our students and our adults. And also we can have a cafeteria setting type place so we can feed those that are hungry. Yes.
Well, so. I'm telling you what, I am excited for you. And all of this started and when you really became focused on your purpose and determined and just had some, that support that you invested in yourself to come to the Realign Your Life workshop and just really get started on your way. And your husband, Bill, was very supportive of that also. So you mentioned, as you talk about Kay's Kitchen and Kay's Corner, we know that it is going to take finances to be able to help you to build all of that out also. So there may be people that are listening to this podcast that would love to come alongside you because I know this is the heart for many people also is for our youth and for those that are underserved and are marginalized. So
Yes.
will you share with us how people can contact you or how they can donate with you? Share that with our listening audience here today.
All right. You can, we take donations. We accept donations through the Givelify app. You can search the Vine and Branches Outreach, and it will show you directly how to give on that site. And also, we're on Cash App as well. And our Cash App is the $TVABO, all caps, 7, and the number 7. That is $TVABO. That's our initials for the Vine and Branches Outreach. And you could also mail checks to our post office box at 29426, Charlotte, North Carolina, 28229. Yes.
And do you have, if someone wants to really reach out to you and come and volunteer, do you need volunteers? And how do they reach you?
We do need volunteers. You can reach us at admin@tvabo.org.
Repeat that once again for us, because somebody like me trying to write that down, I'm a little bit slow. So.
All right. You can reach us at admin@tvabo.org.
Thank you so much, Kim. I really do appreciate you sharing with us today. And I know that those that are out there listening to this podcast today, that they are going to take away a lot of rich information that you've shared with us, these wonderful nuggets that you've dropped as to how they can begin the journey of realigning their lives without fear and knowing that there's support out there. So is there a last word that you would like to just share with them, a huge nugget that you want to drop?
Well, I would just say that it's well worth it to invest in yourself. We get our hair done, we get our nails done. Those are investments and they're good, but it takes more than that to reach your full potential. And we all have something that we can and should be doing to impact the lives of those around us, and who knows how far that can go. It's one of my goals, if you will, is to be an example for my daughter and my granddaughters. I want them to see me doing what I have the talent and gift to do, and encourage them to do the same. So to be an example to those coming behind me, and my grandsons as well, and sons.
It's got to be men and women.
Yes.
So, okay, you out there, you've heard Kim's word of advice. Use those gifts and talents because someone is waiting to hear from you. You have a gift that somebody needs. So again, thanks so much, Kim, for being with us today. And for those of you that are listening to us today, if you know of someone that could use this advice, please share this podcast with them. And as always, I am always available. You can reach me at godskow@gmail.com, or you can always hit me up on Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm Vivian Richardson on both. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. In the meantime, peace. I hope you enjoyed this episode. The best gift that you could give me is to share this podcast with family and friends. And don't forget to review it. That way, this podcast will grow organically. If you need to reach out to me, please check out my Facebook page, DM me there, or you can email me at godskow@gmail.com. We have upcoming Bible studies that we would love for you to join us in, or if there is a guest or someone that you would like to see me interview on this podcast, please let me know. We are here to work together to realign our lives. Until the next episode, take care, and I look forward to sharing more and more with you as we realign our lives. Peace until next week.